Hello Tube Dwellers and welcome. I'm the Arcadean and today we are farming this guy, Bakura, at level 30. Now before you immediately turn off this video, hear me out. There's two very good reasons for farming Bakura at level 30 as opposed to level 40. Number one is consistency. In order to make level 40 farming better than level 30 farming, you would need to win at least 80% of your games at level 40 with at least 5,700 points each time. Which, because Bakura at 1450 has been designed by Konami to resist farming methods, is almost impossible to do. Some people have gotten very, very lucky with particular farming decks, but other people playing exactly the same decks are reporting 0% win rating. So consistency is key. At level 30 consistency, easy enough to do. Level 40 and 50, extremely difficult. Reason number two is because level 30 Bakura requires half the dice to fight than level 40 does. It means that you have double the number of drops, which doubles your chances of getting EX gems. And the EX gems are what you use to get the guaranteed Bakura cards from the card trader. Very, very useful. Removes RNG from the equation, just guarantees you get that card that you're looking for. So, highly advise everybody, unless you're one of the lucky few that just happens to have a deck that works perfectly for you, I highly advise people to just stick to farming level 30. So, that's the reasoning, and here's the deck, right after we roll intro. First things first, we have 3 Buster Bladers. Of course, the card that I've just fallen in love with recently and that we built this entire deck around. Helping them out are 3 Emblem of the Dragon Destroyers. You could, if you wanted to, replace those 3 with the SR version of the Buster Bladers, but I prefer the emblems because they help you to mill the deck faster. Supporting the Buster Bladers, we have 3 Robot Buster Destruction Swords. This prevents Ectoplasma and all of the other annoying little card effects from going off and killing us before we can get down to 0 cards in our deck. Very, very handy. And then we have Karma of the Destruction Swordsman. This is just to, well, this has 2 reasons. One is to prevent any shenanigans with creatures in the grave, necrophilia, all that kind of thing. And the second one is to give our Buster Blader a big boost at the end of the match. Now, normally you'll have 2 Buster Bladers out, and that's more than enough to synchronize off the Union attack and the Vassal and all the rest of it. But sometimes you don't. Sometimes you've had a bad early start, and there's only 1 Buster Blader out onto the field. Karma of the Destruction Swordsman, if activated on the last turn, will take a single Buster Blader up high enough that the double Union attack can actually boost the Vassal up to 10,000 plus damage. Speaking of which, there he is, Gravekeeper's Vassal. We're running the standard Vassal, Secret Pass to the Treasures, and Union attack combo. If you have 2 Union attacks, use them. I don't, so I'm using a spell Reclamation Trap. Just make sure to place that on the second to last turn or earlier. And then finally, we are running 3 Supremacy Berries. You can switch those out for any healing card that you have. Just make sure that it heals as much as possible, because again, ideally you do want 2 Buster Bladers out onto the field. And 1 Dian Keto, again, healing, nice and powerful. Rain of Mercy works out just fine as well, as does even smaller things like Blue Medicine and Muyan Curry. Although again, the higher the healing value, the better. You are going to take a little bit of damage, probably at the beginning, and you'll definitely obviously take some damage from the 3-star demotion, which, as you can see from the top, is the skill that we are using. So, that's the farming deck. Let's jump into a battle with Bakura and see how it goes. Okay, Bakura, level 30. Let's get started. Okay, here we go. Flip the coin, and we go first. Okay, this deck doesn't really care too much about going first or second, but if we have a Buster Blader in our hand at the beginning, then that works out nicely for us, and we technically kind of sort of do with that emblem. So let's play that, summon a Buster Blader into our hand, shuffle, shuffle, and then we will activate our skill, 3-star demotion, and drop our Buster Blader out onto the field along with Dian Kito to heal ourselves up. There we go. Now I'm also going to drop Spell Reclamation and Magic Trap Jammer rather, because sometimes Bakura has exchange and he can be a little bit annoying with it, and I don't want either of those two cards to be taken away from me. Here's Robot Buster, so we'll attach that to the Buster Blader, and at this point we're basically done. Now that we have a Buster Blader and a Robot Buster out onto the field, we don't need to worry about any of his moves, such as the Ectoplasma there, and we don't need to worry about any of his card effects either. So we can, at this point, just slowly move towards the end game. So he plays a bunch of cards. They're all pointless. And we have the ingredients in our hand at this point to summon another Buster Blader, but I don't... there's no urgency here, shall we say. At this point, we could sacrifice our Robot Buster. We could bring out a second... we could use a Supremacy Berry. We could bring out the Emblem, and so on and so forth, but it's a bit complicated, and yeah. So we got a Buster Blader in our hand right now. We might as well make use of him. So 3-star demotion, drop him down onto the field, and we will at this point start milling our deck out a little bit. I don't want us to get to 7 cards in the hand and start discarding stuff if we can possibly use it. Don't use the Spell Reclamation. Pull another Buster Blader out of our hand, out of our deck rather. Use the Supremacy Berry just to get ourselves back up to 3,000. Just in case, there's always a possibility that something could go hideously wrong, you never know. And we'll drop another Robot Buster onto the first Buster Blader. And now we're basically back where we started, with a little bit more health and another Buster Blader out onto the field. Now I often forget to do this, but the trick to staying at 3000 HP is that on your last turn you can activate 3-star demotion for without summoning anything. But that will get you down to 1,000 life points, and 1,000 life points will get you extra points, of course. I usually forget to do that, but if you do remember, it can give you a hefty number of points. Alright, so we're going to have to start discarding cards. At this point we can get rid of our Supremacy Berries. The healing cards are not in any way necessary at the moment. But we do want to keep a hold of our Karmas if possible, and of course we definitely want to keep a hold of our Vassal, Union Attack, and Secret Pass. We can also get rid of these emblems now as well, because we have all 3 Buster Bladers. Okay, now it is our last turn, so here is where the entire sequence begins. We will activate the Robot Buster just to free up a slot for our Union Attack and whatnot. Play our Grave Keeper Vassal. Play the Union Attack and combo it with the Spell Reclamation. Oh, there we go. A bit of lag on the phone there, but all right. And then we can discard basically anything. We'll drop our Buster Blader there, and away it goes. And Spell Reclamation will drop the Union Attack right back into our hands. We use it again for the double boost. Now at this point we could just finish. We could just go straight for the kill, but just in case you don't have 2 Buster Bladers out onto the field, I'll show you what you need to do in that instance. So Secret Pass and Treasure. First of all, you'll want to play any remaining Robot Busters onto the Buster Blader that's left onto the field. Immediately activate it to get its effect. There we go. Every little bit helps. And then finally you'll want to use the Karma. This allows you to drop 3 cards out of Bakura's grave, and that will give us an extra 1,500 attack. So we'll just get rid of anything, it doesn't really matter. None of these are threatening while they're in the grave. So 1, 2, and 3. Out they go. We will boost up the Buster Blader, and that you will see takes him up to 5,100, which with the double Union Attack alone would give us 10,000 plus damage. So we come out of this with 18,000. I did, of course, as always, forget to use the 3-star demotion, no big deal. He brings out the Earthbound. We counter with the Trap Jammer, and that's it. down goes Bakura. So again, I keep forgetting to use the 3-star demotion to get the extra points. We would probably, I think we're around 7,000 points from this fight. We would be up at 8,000 if I'd remember to do the 3-star demotion. Don't be like me, be smart. So here we are, comeback victory, cards on the brink, victory by effect damage only, glossy cards, 10,000 damage, spell and trap, and we got 7,500 finished. And that was the level 30 Bakura Buster Bleeder Beatdown deck. As you can see, it's fun, which is quite crucial when you're farming incessantly these LD event characters, and it also answers all of his annoying little cards very effectively. So give it a try for yourselves and let me know how it turns out for you guys. I'll keep working away at trying to find something for level 40 Bakura, so fingers crossed for that. If we find something, it'll be in the next episode. Speaking of which, in the meantime, feel free to smash those like and subscribe buttons, ring the bell down below to get notified when these videos go up, and I will see you guys and gals and everyone in between in the next episode.